Hey everybody, Full Moon Cat here with another Carrion Fields tutorial. And in this video I'm going to be discussing areas, area boundaries, and all of the mechanics that come along with areas in the game. So by areas, I mean these. If you type areas in the game, you get a listing of a bunch of areas. So when you use that command, you can see the level that is suggested for that area. So in this case, Aturi Timberlands is suggested for levels 10 through 51. And what that really means is that there are NPCs in that area that are between the levels of 10 and 51. So kind of take that suggestion with a little bit of a grain of salt. If you see 51 or some very high number at the end there, that means that some of the stuff in that area is going to be pretty tough. So you obviously don't want to just go in there and expect, okay, I'm past level 10, so now I can go into that area. You do need to be careful, you do need to be cautious and always consider what you fight. But you can also filter this area list down by your level. So in my case, I am level 8 right now. If I want to find out what I could handle at level 8 potentially, I can type area and then a number, my level. And it will give me only areas that exist that fall within that range. So this can give you a little bit of an idea of what levels you could go to that would be safe, or where you could actually level up from the NPCs that are in that area. So for example, the lumberyard, that would be a good one because I fall sort of in the middle of this range between 1 and 10. And if you want to know where some of these areas are, what you can do is you can go up here to Wiki Maps, click on that. This will open up a world map. And there is an area list here, so if I wanted to know where the lumberyards are, I could go to the area list, type lumber, and click on that. So here's a little area map of that particular area, and I can see that it's right off of Galadon. So if I wanted to find that area, I could potentially do so right there. So I would navigate to Market Square, go south, and then the lumberyard is right off of this main road here. So I definitely recommend using this wiki map. For new players especially, you don't know your way around yet, these maps are an invaluable tool. And honestly, even as a veteran player, most people are using these maps when they aren't particularly familiar with areas. So back in the game, areas have specific boundaries. So right now I'm on Eastern Road. If I do aware here, you'll see that there's somebody on Eastern Road with me. One space north is an area boundary for a different area. And if I type where here, now I no longer see that guy. Learning these area boundaries is important for a lot of reasons. So one of them is to avoid people in the game. If you're running from somebody, for example, and you want to hide, I might be running down Eastern Road, and I know that there is an area just a couple of spaces south here. And now I know that I'm in this area called Drogren Hills, and I'm no longer on Eastern Road. So if somebody types where and they're on Eastern Road, they won't see me anymore. And they'll probably know I dodged off into one of the surrounding areas, but they won't know exactly which one that I've dodged off into. So this is a good tactic for me to possibly escape. You also need to know that when you're hunting people. So if I was on Eastern and I see that somebody is, maybe I want to find one of these guys and they disappear from my where list. I need to know which areas there are one space off of Eastern Road that I could then go to and peek in, do a where, okay, not there. And then there's another one, peek in here. So that's what you'll find when you're chasing people or trying to find them. You'll need to know where the area boundaries are so that you can go in and type where to find out if they're in that area. Area boundaries are also important even if we're not talking about player versus player combat, because there's a mechanic in the game that causes NPCs that have died to repopulate within their areas. And that happens much more quickly if people are not in the area. So right now I'm on Eastern Road, and if I go north here, I'm now in a place called Aldevari. And I've got this dwarf here that's kind of just within that area boundary. If I type where dwarf, I can see that he's here, a small forest trail. So let's say, that I'm killing things in this area to level up, maybe wolves or something. So there's some wolves here, so let's kill some wolves. All right, so I'm done killing wolves, and I need to have more wolves appear so I can kill more. So I want to leave the area in order for that to happen more quickly. It will happen if I stay within the area too. Eventually the NPCs will repopulate, but it takes a lot longer. So to leave the area, I might find my dwarf here. And if it's within my roleplay to do so, kill this NPC. Even though he's not the one that I'm after here in this particular area, because he is close to the area boundary and he shows up on where, it's an easy way for me to tell when the NPCs in this area have repopulated. All right, so I kill this dwarf. Now if I type where dwarf, you'll see that there is another dwarven hunter, but he's in a clearing filled with tents, so he's not here in this small forest trail. So let's go ahead and leave the area now. And you can tell that time has passed in the game based on this hours here. So it's 3 a.m. right now. If I just hit enter to send nothing through, it'll refresh my prompt here. And you can see that an hour has passed in the game. So I'm just going to wait a couple of hours in the game time to let that area then refresh, which it will do much quicker if there's nobody in the area. So hopefully nobody walks in there while I'm trying to show you this. That does happen sometimes. You're waiting for the area to refresh and somebody else wanders in, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess I have to wait for that person to leave now in order for the stuff to come back. All right, so there's nobody in here. Where dwarf, you'll see that there's now a dwarven hunter on a small forest trail. So I know that the NPCs have now repopulated in this area because I killed the dwarven hunter that was on the small forest trail. And you can see there he is right there. That's the new repopulated dwarf sitting there right next to the bloody clump of hair that fell off of the one that I killed. Knowing area boundaries allows you to leave those areas and wait outside of them in order for the NPCs within to refresh so that you can go back in and do your leveling up, or if you're killing things for a quest or whatever the case may be, you do need those things to come back. So even though there are area boundaries, you can actually scan through them. So right here in Aldavari, Aldavari actually connects up to the Grove as well. So I know that that's right here in the Traveler's Camp and Colorful Wagons. So even though I'm in Aldavari right now, if I scan east, I can see the NPCs that exist in this other area, even though they're in a completely different area from where I am. We've got a tired dog, a happy dog. If I do where happy, you'll see that it's not found because that's in a different area. And if I go into this area where happy, now you can see that I am in that NPC's area, so he'll show up on my where command. But I can scan back and forth between these areas. Better players than me use this as they're walking around. Before they'll enter the next area, they'll scan to make sure that nobody's waiting for them at that area boundary, waiting to jump them. If you do get really proficient at navigating between areas, you might consider scanning before you walk into areas to make sure that nobody's waiting there for you.